Because you misconceived the fiscal program, it is showing where you have to release money. And you cannot keep going on failing to release money. Because if you do not release the money, public goods and services and development will struggle. People are looking for hospitals in their constituencies. Because of fiscal failure, you haven't been able to add one cement block to Agenda 111. Why? Because you are not raising and spending. How often can you tell people who are not getting the public goods and services that you promised that what you have done is that you brought the primary balance to 1.1? It's like a father who says that I am piling up all my salary in the bank account, but I won't pay my children's school fees, I won't pay their medical bills. When they ask me, I say the bank account is looking nice. That is what is going on. And that is why we are drawing your attention to the fact, though we've commended you in some areas, that you can't continue like this. Mr. Speaker, there are some recommendations we want to make. These are recommendations about some things that must be sustained. So, for example, let me speak about the currency. Now, the IMF has exposed you that part of what you are doing on the currency front is that you are dumping about $1.5 billion from the reserves that we left you onto the market to suppress the currency. And they have advised you that you should desist from that. The question is, how do you sustain an appreciation of the currency? We've already come to an understanding of why the currency has appreciated and what you are even doing as part of it. But how do you sustain it? Mr. Speaker, I have told you that we are patriotic. We will give record. We are not like those who would prevent you from laying papers on the floor or laying bills or fighting on the floor for political advantage. We will give you feedback and advice where necessary. So, Mr. Speaker, for example, on the currency front, what the government, we are advising in all humility, what the government should do is to take a lot more seriously the whole exercise of ensuring that exporters retire the forex earnings, properly so-called, back into the jurisdiction. The LOC requirements is what they should pay attention to. If you don't do that and you do an artificial dumping, today gold prices are high, so you are benefiting. What will happen tomorrow when gold prices are not high? Will you have $1.4 billion every 6 months to be dumping onto the market? No. As Honorable Minister, in all humility, your brothers and sisters on this side, we mentioned to you that to sustain the currency gains, pay more attention to the proper retirement of forex earnings, not an artificial dumping. Because today, if you dump currency artificially on the market and you suppress the rates, Governor Siama will have the rate, but Abochi will have the dollar. Today, a lot of importers are complaining that even when they file paperwork at the banks for transfer of forex, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they are not getting it. So if you go ahead with this artificial dumping and suppression, what will happen is that Governor Siama, as I told you, will have the rate, but Abochi will have the dollar. Mr. Speaker, on the revenue measures, our recommendation is that some of the revenue measures you have introduced are in the long run going to take inflation back up. We said it when you introduced the Doomsor levy at midnight, when you waited for everybody to go to bed and you brought the Doomsor levy. We told you that extra levies on petroleum eventually will translate into inflation. For us, you say because we don't have goodwill, we should keep quiet. If you like, don't listen to us. Your own Governor Siama is drawing your attention to the fact that it is a risk for increased inflation in the medium term. And so our advice is that some of these panic revenue measures, you originally misconceived the fiscal program. You are now panicking and you've introduced 8 new taxes. Some of them, like the Doomsor levy, like the special import levy that you have introduced, they are going to translate into inflation at some point in time. It will be good for you to pull them back now at this point in time and rather look at what you can do on the expenditure side to cut. And talking of expenditure cuts, if there is a place where the 24-hour economy is needed the most now, is the Public Investment Division at the Finance Ministry. Why? Because that is where public-private partnerships are conceptualized. That is where they need to be working around the clock so that you can crowd in private funding to support what you cannot fund from the Treasury. And so your brothers and sisters on this side will give you feedback that pay attention to these things. I'm going to end with a caution. Mr. Speaker, the cost of government services is going to go up because fees and charges are being put up by about 30 to 40%. Electricity is going up by about 16%, in addition to the 8 new taxes. And so the government should take caution that the measures are going to increase the cost of government services, eventually the cost of doing business, and eventually the cost of living because of inflation. We also asked them finally to tone down on the propaganda. The list that the Minister for Finance brought, now people on social media are drawing his attention to the fact that that is not the price of Yaz sanitary pad. What he came to list here, people are drawing his attention to it. The minister came here and claimed that there was no gold for oil program. The Bank of Ghana itself concedes that there was a gold for, in fact, if there was no gold for oil program, why did you make the announcement that you have cancelled the gold for oil program? That propaganda, stop it. For example, your road projects that you have listed, a good chunk of them are a repackage of already existent road programs. You don't need that propaganda to try and create effect.
Conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude by saying that we will commend you where commendation is due, but we will also give you critique in good faith. If you take it and you adjust, it will help all of us. The propaganda is too much. For now, because you listened, your fiscal program, you are beginning to adjust it, but it's not sustainable. If you adopt the advice that we are giving you, the Republic will be the better for it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.